Hi everyone, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with another See You Next Tuesday. We are on episode 12, I believe it is now, 12 of the See You Next Tuesday list. We sometimes wonder who we're going to add to the list next. And this next choice may be a little bit controversial for some of you. We did think long and hard about it, and I thought I'm going to put him on the list mainly for one thing that he apparently said. Now, he also quotes and says that he didn't say that, but I don't really believe that. I think he did say that, to be honest with you. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute. Who is it I'm talking about? Let's get stuck into this in a second. Just before we do, a little reminder, if you like this kind of thing, please subscribe, come and join us. We've got loads of room for you in the subs list. We're on 3,820, I think it is now. So we're getting close to 4K. Smash that button if you just check us out for the first time. Loads of football stats and chats, rants, and the See You Next Tuesday list just like this. And you can guess who's going to be on next. So let's have a little look then. Who am I talking about? Who was the next inductee on this list? It pains me to say this because I've got fond memories of him as a player for Newcastle United. I'm talking about the one and only one show presenter, that is Jermaine Jenas. That's the only one show presenter I think we'll have on this list, mind you. So Jermaine Jenas, if you didn't know, before he was sitting on the sofa with Alex Jones, he used to play football and he used to be quite good actually as well. So this is the JJ that I like to remember. We signed him from Nottingham Forest. I think at the age of 18, he broke through the youth academy at Nottingham Forest. He was 17. He was brilliant. Looked like he had a real big future ahead of him. Loads of teams were sniffing around him. Bobby Robson got the deal done, spotted a good young player, as he was very good at doing. We signed JJ. He actually won the PFA Young Player of the Year as well, I think, for us when he was 19 years old. It shows you how good he was at Bobby Robson's Newcastle United. And he was brilliant. He was surrounded by, experience. He had, like, Gary Speedron, Rob Lee, Shearer. He had Kieran Dyer alongside him as well. Those two had a really exciting dynamic as a midfield. And, JJ overall for us played 110 games from 2002 to 2005, and he got 9 goals. And as I say, by and large, a lot of the time JJ had at Newcastle United, I really enjoyed it. I remember watching one game in particular against Arsenal where I saw him go toe-to-toe with Vieira, and Vieira was, the best there was, really, I think, at the time. Him and Keane, you could split either one of them. I don't know which one you choose, but JJ was going toe-to-toe, with Patrick Vieira at 18, 19 years old, and I was so impressed. I remember saying to my dad watching the game, this kid's going to be a hell of a player for us, future captain, England captain, all sorts of stuff. And I think what happened is there's a combination of two things here. I think JJ got a little bit big for his britches, just like Dyer did. He wasn't as bad as Dyer. I think Dyer was a bit of a knob, really, the whole earring and I won't play on the right wing and all that stuff. But JJ had a close bond with Bobby because they shared a birthday, and Bobby really treated him like a son, really. But so JJ wasn't as worky, I think, for Bobby as Dyer was. But when Souness came in, it did kind of change the dynamic a little bit, and it seemed to unsettle the player. But I think what else unsettled him as well, that he was talking about, wanting to get away. And I think when he said something about being in England, and his England teammates were playing for better clubs than he was, and he wanted to move away to try and ensure his space in England squad. I think he had said that once. But the famous line that he did say, and Souness was quoted saying it, hence my orange T-shirt, that, and this is why he makes a See You Next Tuesday list. Apparently JJ was unhappy at living in the goldfish bowl that is Newcastle United. You knew it was coming when you seen JJ's name on this list. Yeah, so if he did say that, JJ, poor form, really poor form, to be honest with you. Yes, Newcastle United isn't as big of a city Newcastle's not as big of a city as London. You can't get lost in as many places as you can in London, which is obviously where he ended up going, to Tottenham Hotspur. He did win a League Cup, I think, in 2007. But by and large, didn't do loads for Spurs. Played 155 times and got 21 goals, and it was all right. He wasn't great. I don't think they've got statues built of him or the right songs about him. Spurs fans, let me know in the comments if you disagree with me. But he was an all right player for them. He ended up going to play for England 21 times and getting 1 goal. But he got a lot of his caps, when he was, I think when he was at Newcastle as well, to be honest with you. 2003, 2009. So yeah, he was at Newcastle for 2 years when he was getting England caps, to be fair. So it wasn't like we were preventing him getting in the England squad. Obviously, when Souness took over and we went back a little bit from Bobby's time, then yeah, he wouldn't have been as probably as catching the eye as much as he would have done. But the goldfish bowl thing really pissed a lot of people off. Souness said it just before the transfer went through. Jenas said many years later on Goals on Sunday that he totally denied it. He said, you show me a recording when I've said that. He said, I love my time at Newcastle, all that sort of stuff. And he's since come out and he's waxed very lyrically about Newcastle, in particularly when we've been taken over, which is interesting. A lot of these ex-players seem to be talking about how great the club is now. Even Michael Owen, of all people, who perpetually said he used to run away from Newcastle, or try to run away from Newcastle every summer, is suddenly waxing lyrically about us because we're the Champions League again and we're looking like we're going places. Interesting, that, isn't it? Call me cynic. But yeah, going back to JJ. So JJ moved on to Spurs. Again, like I said, I think he was quite disrespectful about the club, really, the club that helped make him. That's the kind of bit that pissed me off the most, from this young lad we kind of plucked out of Nottingham Forest and put in a team full of experienced pros and played Champions League football and played really well as well in that side, and fully deserved all the plaudits that he got in winning Young Player of the Year and under the tutelage of Bobby Robson, which is what Jenas uses as the kind of tipping point for him wanting to leave. But yeah, the Goldfish Bowl thing alone for me makes you make the list, JJ, of the See You Next Tuesday list. So yeah, sorry, mate. People may disagree with me there. People may think I'm being harsh, but yeah, when you call Newcastle a Goldfish Bowl and you criticise the people, I don't have that. To be fair, you make the list of the See You Next Tuesdays. That's me done for the latest inductee of the See You Next Tuesday list. As I mentioned, let us know what you think in the comments below. We always like to hear whether you agree or disagree. We always try and engage with. We don't ignore you. We're not that kind of channel. We always try and type response if you take the time to put a comment on. So fire away. Let us know if you think Jenas deserves his place on the See You Next Tuesday list, and make sure you tune in to see who will make it next time. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out. It'll remind you. Come and check it out and see who's on the list next. And if you like the video, help get it on YouTube, and really helps the channel grow. We're aiming for 4K. Help us get there, guys. Catch you later, everybody. We'll be back next Tuesday. Cheers. Bye-bye.